Hello friends, well you joined me here in the workshop for this video because we're going to take a look at and try to service the really strange bypass motor in our Goblin 702. Better crack on. Now this is going to be really interesting because this is the first time that I've ever actually serviced a motor in one of these. I know I did take one out of the machine that I found in that back alley all those years ago, and I do remember a couple of things about the procedure for doing this. I know you need to take these little openings, these little covers off first, otherwise you can't extract the motor from the machine's body. But that's pretty much all I can recall about doing it. That's it, really. So I guess we should just crack on and see what happens. This could be terrible or really good. Let's find out. First things first then, let's get these side covers off. Quite easy to do with the drill, and they just lift out like so. And we need to do one on the other side. I can see some sound deadening stuff going on there. Let's flip this over. Let's remove this side. There we go. That's those bad boys out. Now we need to remove the machine's bum. So let's undo this cover, this exhaust cover. As I said in the last video, it's very much like a Electrolux style, where you've got the captive bolt going through, and then we are presented with this black back cover. As we saw in the original video, we've got the exhaust here, and then we have the cooling for the motor here. So I need to move things around a bit so we can whip this back panel off. The easiest way to do this is to have the machine on the floor, flat on its face. It's very stable actually. It's almost as if they made it to be like this, and I've got 4 screws here now, so let's quickly whip this panel off. There we go, and we can take this away, and that reveals all the insides. Now we've got quite a lot of stuff going on here, so I'm going to bring you a bit closer so you can see it better. Now we can have a really good close-up look of what we've got going on here. So this is obviously cable that's been replaced in the past. This is not the original flex that would have come with this machine, and I think I'm going to have to take this off because I've got a feeling you can't take the motor out with this bit of plastic in the way. So and we've got a terminal block here like so, this little terminal block. I think the motor will come out past the switch. I think I've got a feeling. So I think what I'll do is we'll just undo and remove the wires for the switch. So I need to remember it's that one and that one. Is that switching the neutral? Yeah. Oh God, look. Someone's wired this in wrong. Because look, the blue neutral wire's here. Hopefully you can see that. It's there, look, it's coming into this side, and then this is going to the switch, so the neutral's being switched. That's not what we want. We want the live to be switched, so that's very naughty, whoever did that originally. And we've got a modern chop block here, so I think if I undo this, like so, that will release like that, and then there's a couple of screws on the side here which hold this plastic retainer in, so I'm going to whip those out. That's one, and 2. Try not to drop it. I don't really want to take the entire flex off because it's just more work to put back, but we'll see how we go. Okay. So those are those are the only screws that are different from what I've taken out of the machine, so that's good. I just need to put those so I can see them right. So, okay, so we've got the cable that we can whip out the way, like so, and now we have 4 flathead screws all around the edge of the motor. So let me undo those quickly. There's my decent screwdriver. Let's get these out. That's a bit thick. Let's try this one. Oh, that's also too thick. Okay. Find an appropriate screwdriver. Let's try this one. Oh, that's better. That's the screws removed. They're really funny screws as well. Look, they're really odd shapes. Let's pop those over there on the pile. I've just got a feeling that these washers are going to come off. So let's just get those out of the way before they fall and get lost forever. Like so. Now we should be able to extract the motor. Let's have a look. Let me move it and wiggle it. It's in there really tight. Oh, okay, let's take that baffle off. There we go. Okay, so then, hang on, let me move my hand so you can see it come out. So it should, he says, go past the switch. I really want it to go past the switch. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. No. Actually, maybe that isn't going to work. Because the motor is massive and it's really surprisingly heavy. No, alright. Well, that's a pain, isn't it? How am I going to get this switch out? Okay. Right, 2 seconds. I need to balance this on my lap so you can see it properly. So what I've had to do here is tap out the pin that holds the pedal in. There's the pedal like so. And now it should be able to very gingerly try and hold it still so you can see it. Undo this ring around the top of the switch. So I could just do that just by pushing it like so. Just to undo that ring. There's quite a lot of thread there. It's going to be a pain to put back on. But I think you need to do it. Okay, there we go. So that's that. It's undone. Let's get the magnetic puller. Very useful tool. Oh, no, it's not steel, so that's not going to work. Oh my goodness. Actually, can I just push it down through? Yeah, there we go. If I push it down through, like so, then the switch comes away. Get rid of that, and we just need to make sure we keep this ring really, really safe. So let's pop that there on the pile of spares. Right, let's shift position again, and we should be able to get the motor out now. Let's try this again. Can we get it out this time? Yes, there we go. And there's our unbelievably large motor. Don't worry, I'm just going to transfer this to the bench, and then we will take a look at it in more detail. It is really, really weird. At least we can have a look inside the 702 here. There's not much to see, to be honest. There's a little bit of... Oh, what's this? It's foam that's gone really hard. Really, really hard. It's like rock, actually. Let's put that in the bin. We'll give this a shake out. Let's just shake that out. There we go. Get rid of some of that muck that's in there. It's in surprisingly good condition, actually. It's... ow! Damn it! Oh, there's a really sharp little... Oh, it's like a pin just behind there. I mean, right in my finger. It's not bleeding, but it hurt. It's a surprise. Yeah, there's like a bulkhead here. This is like a bulkhead. Is this case in 2 halves? No. That's interesting, isn't it? How did they get that in there? Yeah, it's like a bulkhead. Look, they're sort of behind a piece of plastic. Yeah, I wonder how they did that. How they put it in. I don't know. That's fascinating, actually. Because the case is in... It looks like the case is just one moulding. The body is one moulding. So how did they get that in there? I'll be very careful not to break it, actually. Oh, that's really interesting. Anyway, we're not here to to look at that, let's check out the motor. Before we start taking this apart, I just wanted you to see it in, just to see it like this really, because it's so bizarre. It's such a strange machine. The 702 really is weird. So you've got like a motor within a motor kind of thing, because you've got this, there's so much metal here. It's unbelievable. It's really heavy. It's one of the heaviest bypass motors I've ever seen, actually. And you can see here, this was originally, when it was new, this was the foam that sort of abutted the vent on the side, like so. This one is still pretty much in place. However, yeah, and it fits quite nicely into that into the shape of it. But it's gone very, very hard. Actually, no, I'm lying to you. That's still surprisingly soft, that side. But this side is almost completely gone, so it's not really sealing on anything, which is unfortunate, I would say. That would affect the motor's cooling, but the machine's not going to be used that much anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So you can see better there the cooling fan on the top of the motor, so that's what's drawing the air in to keep the motor cool. Interesting little label here. I didn't put this out, sorry, but it says, if I can show it to you, can it focus on that? Probably not, because it's a pain. Will you focus? Nope. Okay, it says, before removing motor, remove side moulding. So that's the bit that I remembered from my experience for the first time round all those years ago. But now we need to work out how on earth we get into this so we can oil the bearings. It's amazing. If I show you a modern, so this is a modern Dyson upright motor, and the size difference is really quite astounding. That is really, really shocking. I think that's a 1400 watt DC-07 motor. And you guys know how much airflow these create and the amount of suction power. It's like the equivalent to 3 of these motors. But the size difference is just unbelievable. Look at it. And the weight as well. This weighs nothing, but this is a couple of kilos. It's got to be a couple of kilos. Really is quite something. There's the other end, and you can see the exhaust slits for the fans. This is what makes it a bypass motor, because the air is coming in here, it's being sucked in through the fan here, and then exhausted out of the side of the fan casing away from the motor itself, which, as we know, is secondarily cooled by the fan here. That's really fascinating. I wonder if this is like the first ever vacuum cleaner bypass motor in a in a domestic vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I've got a theory it might be. But anyway, let's have a closer look at this and then take it apart. That's hopefully a better view for you. Now, first thing I think I need to do is to remove this terminal block here. If I might not need to remove it actually. Let's just whip these out. Let's take these wires out. Oh look, there's the remnants of a previous wire there. That's interesting. Look at that. I wonder what that's from. Let's pop that out that side. So now we should be able to release this plate, and I think this plate is where we start. So we need to take this off. And just see if I can cheat and just use a set of long-nosed pliers without digging around. So I'm just going to be quiet a second and just get these undone. There we go, that's those off. So now we should be able to lift this plate out the way. And we start to get a little more exposure to the motor itself. Let's see what we've got. Can we take this off? Does this come off? Does that come off? What does this do? Where's that from? It's like a voyage of discovery. I wonder now if this actually comes off. Little captive studs there. Always like a captive stud. Very useful. I don't know. It doesn't seem to want to come out. Oh, I wonder. I think that's what these screws are for. So let's undo these screws. That might be holding that in place. Okay, that looks more promising. Screwdriver. I think it moved. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. So then we can take this baffle off, like so. Ah, we're getting deeper into things now. This is good. This is good. So how is this held on? My God, look at this. Oh look, there's a date code. Awesome. Look, December 72. Ah, fab. I had a theory that this particular machine was from 1973, but that proves it. So this motor was manufactured December of 72. Cool. Oh, that's really useful to know. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, so we can date it accurately now. Now we need to work out how on earth we get into this. It's starting to look more like a Goblin motor of the time, of the era. But how do we get into this? I don't know. We might have to crack the fan case off now. I've got a theory that these are probably screwed in. Oh, no. There we go. See, we are discovering. We can take that top panel off. And we're left with a very vicious looking fan. That is, God, that looks like something that you'd use in a blender. It's vicious. Imagine catching yourself on that. Ow, that would be horrific. Now I wonder, can we... Let's just whip out the carbon brush holders. Aha, there we go. Okay, good. And that will come off like so, and then we can take the brush holder out. Oh my goodness me. Oh yes, yes, we are getting down to the end of our brush life here. Let's pop that in, see how much we've actually got. Okay, it's yeah, it's serviceable. That'll last, well yeah, that'll last for the time that I've got this machine. Let's whip this one out and see what we've got going on over here. There we go. Let's pull this brush holder out. We got here. Oh, I think we've got a bit less on this side actually. There's not a good, oh God no, look, there's not much meat left on that, is there? Look. Whoa. That's interesting. Might pose a problem. I'll have to do some investigation into what brushes I can put in it. But now we can see the commutator. I don't know if you can. Oh yes you can, there we go. So let's have a quick, I'm gonna have to look through the camera actually. The commutator doesn't look too bad. It's surprisingly closely placed. There's quite a lot of segments on there. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, good. We're definitely going to have to take this top fan off. So I think if we give it a little blast of penetrating fluid, this one's running out. That's not ideal. Let's pop that on there. Let that do its work. Now I think this comes off. Yeah, there we go. That seal comes off there. Now that is very much looking like a traditional Goblin motor. Now that is yeah. This is kind of what I would expect to see as a Goblin machine. Now, however, we cannot remove this cover without taking the fan case off. So I'm going to have to bang this fan case off, and that's going to be tricky, and it's not something that I'm going to film doing. So I'm just going to go away. I'm going to get this fan case off, and then we will come back and have a look inside. Holy moly, that really did not want to come off. You see it's actually pushed down this side of the fan casing into the fans. I hope it hasn't done any damage. It should be okay. But yeah, I had to go around and smack it on all these points and actually bend the fan casing out, if you can see it there, but just had to bend it out just to try and release the pressure all the way around the edge. This is unbelievably thick metal. You would not get this in a modern machine. This is really shockingly thick, really solid. Bit of weight to it as well. But yeah, it really did not want to come off. So now we need to try and get this fan off. Again, let's try and cheat with this. We use the wrench rather than a socket set. I don't know if this will work. It should do. Oh, there we go. Good. Not too bad in the end. Let's whip these off. Make a little pile. We'll check out the fans whilst we're here. They aren't too bad. They're in quite nice shape. I will clean them before I put them back on, because there is some dirt stuck down in the vanes, but it's not too bad. Not too bad. Like, you know, this machine's only got a cloth bag on it, so, you know, only so much you can do. Now we can pop this casing off. This should come quite easily. There we go. Please excuse the annoying Welsh children outside. Again, this is really quite something. It's very solid. The metal is just unbelievable. I love the way they've punched these veins in the side. I wonder how they did that. I wonder if they just like put it in a press and just went round and just pressed them out. It must have taken quite a lot of effort. It's really cool. I like it. Then we got to the inner fan. So let's check this out. We'll remove the spacer. Pop the fan off. Again, looking pretty good actually. Very thin. Fans are quite thin. Have I got a modern fan I can show you? Should have a modern fan somewhere. Have a look in my drawers. Oh, here we go. That's a Henry fan. Physically, sort of the same kind of size, but obviously the Henry fan has the enhanced leading edges. Do they rotate the same way? Oh, they do. They do. Yeah, they both spin anti-clockwise. Interesting. Surprisingly thin. Yeah. Yeah, thin. Anyway, sorry, it's getting distracted. Okay, and there we are. This is really all we need to look at now. I don't think you can. Oh no, perhaps you can. I was just going to say, I don't think you can actually remove the armature, but that would be really silly. I think if you just undo these posts. Yeah, I think so. If you undo the posts. Actually, let's give that a go. Again, let's try some of our penetrating fluid on these posts, like so. Just give them a little tap. Just to help the oil. Of course, you've got oil everywhere now, which is not ideal. Clean that up a bit. And we should, with the pliers, be able to undo these posts. And if we can undo the posts, we should be able to get to the armature. Well, I can't find my pliers, so perhaps we can use the long nose. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. That's the posts out, and we should now be able to free the armature. So, where's my rubber mallet? Buried, of course. So if I tap this, should... There we go. And we give it a good clean now as well. Twin ball race, nice. And then we can have a look at the field coil. I will give this a clean actually. Probably not going to do that on camera. Yeah, interesting. Again, it's just so much metal. So much metal. You wouldn't have that in a modern machine. Ah, now see there. Can you hear that? Not good. The bottom one is not particularly nice either. So I'm just going to lubricate these bearings, guys. I won't do that on camera. Just get rid of this muck. There's a lot of muck. It's ever so mucky. All the rubbish out of the way. I'll tell you what we will do. We'll give that commutator a quick skim. Nice. That's that done. Put the drill back over there. So what I'm going to do is, off camera, I'm going to lubricate the bearings and then reassemble the motor so it's ready to go back into the machine. We might run it on the bench actually just to see what it sounds like, see if there's any improvements. But yeah, I'll see you in a sec when the motor is back together. Haha, the motor is back together, pretty much. I've just got the top bit to go, but I just thought I'd give it a run whilst it's like this. This might be a bit safer to do it this way. It's now, whatever you do, kids, don't do this at home. I know what I'm doing. This is very, 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 very dangerous, okay? Very, very, very dangerous. So do not do this at home. I'm warning you now. So I'm just going to flick it on and off, see what happens. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. It sounds a lot better than it did. Got some really good airflow going there. No sparking on the armature, so that's good. Yeah, I think that's been a success. I'm very pleased with that, actually. So I'm just going to carry on. I'm just going to complete putting it back together with all these various bits and pieces, and then we will rejoin the action when we're putting it back in the machine. Well, here we go, guys. The moment of truth. We're going to pop the motor back into the body of the 702. Gingerly lower it down and avoid the flex, and then hopefully it will sit as expected, and it does. That's good. Just to point out, whilst we're here, I've rejigged the wiring on the terminal block, so this makes much more sense now, and we will be able to switch the live when the switch is back in. So I'm just going to pop these screws back in. Let's do that quickly. Good out. I need to refit the switch. Where's the switch go? I have to do this like this. Here we go. Switch locked in place. Good. Now we can put the panel back on, and we need to knock this back through very carefully. Good. Need to do the wiring for the switch. Now we need to attach the cable holder. That's that in. Now we connect up the mains cable. Pop that out of the way. Put the rubber boot on. I've just realised I've left the spring out of the switch, so I'll have to redo that off camera. And now we can pop the rear plate on. And finally, the back plate. Good. Love it. Back up to the bench. The penultimate task is to refit the side vents. There we go, brilliant. The 702 is back together, but the big question is, does it work? Let's find out. Well, are you guys ready for this? I know I am. Got the hands to prove it as well. Wow, really quite dirty. That was a long job, I will say. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but the question is, has it been worth it? Let's hit this button and find out. Well, it doesn't sound too bad. For a 49-year-old Goblin cylinder cleaner with a bypass motor in it, that sounds flipping amazing. I'm really, really pleased with that. It's come out great. The next thing I need to do is give it a really good clean, actually, because it is not the cleanest machine smash in the world. But that should be quite easy, I think. Yeah, could do with some retrobricing too. This plastic should be white, but it has gone very cream over the years. You can see it on the camera how cream it actually is. It's not too bad. I've seen a lot worse, to be quite honest with you, but yeah, on the whole it could do with a bit of retrobrite. This vent is broken as well, and that needs gluing, but yeah, not too bad. So that's it for this video. I think this one's gone on for quite long enough. You're probably all very bored now, but the next video we see the 702 in, we're going to give it a use. We're going to give it some use. We're actually going to see it working, and I'm really excited for that. I haven't used this yet. I can't wait. So anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I'm having to duck down so you can see me. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.